what is that one difference you feel वो रहेगा come what may, वो एक difference रहेगा? What do you think?
I think auditions. There are lots of things that I feel like, like even Star Kids should audition for, because I think that it's only fair. But I know that'll never happen. And I always feel like it's just a fair process, because I still audition and I still don't say, Arey, I don't want to audition for like, this role or that role, because I know that that's the process. With the kids who come from film families, because their network is so great, because they know, they've all grown up in the same space. So it's like this uncle is producing, that Chacha ji is producing, this Mossy is producing. So it's just one of those ghar ki baat sort of a situation. So they don't have to test for parts, whereas we really have to test for everything.
For all film related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Lovely chatting with you. आप बताओ कैसा चल रहा है? After a fabulous 2020, what is 2021 looking like for you?
It's been very good, yeah. It started with a bang. I've shot with Mr. Madhur Bhandarkar. I've finished his film. It's called India Lockdown. And we have like, I think, a few days of work left, I think, in February. And it has begun quite well, yeah. Actually, I'm trying to figure out what else can I do? Where else can I branch out? So I think for me, like, this year is all about like also experimenting. I think 2021 is all going to be, let's experiment, let's see what I can do, let's see if I can do something differently this year. So yeah.
So but in this film, you're playing a pilot soaring the skies, taking wings. You've taken wings anyways.
I'm on ground. It's a film. So I think, yeah, it's a very interesting role. It's about a commercial pilot who's obviously stuck at home in the lockdown, and it deals with loneliness. And I think it's a very interesting subject, because a lot of us are lonely in many ways, and we don't realize it, and we don't sometimes admit it to ourselves. And
Totally.
I think it was very sweet. It's a very sweet story. When they narrated it to me, I was just like, oh my God, like, this is something that I know a lot of people will relate with, So I think he's got 4 very touching stories, and I think he's really back with a bang, and I had a great time shooting with him. Really.
Awesome. और मैं आपका ट्रेलर देख रही थी बाबरी छोरी का. वहां पर आप अचार बनाना चाहती हो अपने पति का, उससे पहले आप सैंडविच थी. What is food and ahana यार? कहीं सैंडविच कर रही है पति को, कहीं she wants to make a murabba.
I think the next thing should be butter chicken, na? Like, I should just do butter chicken, no? Since I haven't been to Delhi in so long, I haven't had the best butter chicken in the bloody world. I go like, yeah. I think it's because I haven't traveled in a year, na? That's why everything around me is food.
True. But it's nice, because after all that intense stuff you gave us with, but there's something I want to ask. What would happen if Naina, Leela, and Commander Ahluwalia were to meet? Conversation क्या होगा उनका? And वो खुदा हाफिज की agent.
I think Lisa, first of all, would do like their manicure, pedicure, and just totally make them really like chick-like first and foremost. Because that was my job on set. I was doing everybody's threading and I was doing everybody's waxing. When I was playing Leela, it was hilarious. I've done threading for Coco. I've done waxing for Ratna. It's really funny when I was playing Leela. But I think if all of them meet, I think they're going to have a blast. And I think Ahluwalia is going to be responsible for the blast.
And then she'll have her own zombie army to find out where are the dead bodies and the skeletons hidden.
Yeah, totally.
We should do something like that.
No? Yeah, done.
Totally.
I should give this idea to some writers.
Do that. Or copyright aap aur mera.
Bilkul, done.
But, Anna, it's really amazing, your journey. And, you've spoken about it. But how did that happen? Lucknow ki ladki, Lamat, right? You studied there.
Yes, Lamat.
Yeah, and then suddenly comes to Bombay, which is so far and so different from the Nawabi city and the Nawabi tehzeeb.
Nawabiyat.
What was it? Nawabiyat. Kaisa tha?
So I've literally gone from being Nawab to Mazdoor. In a matter of seconds, it just happened. But I just realized, being in Lucknow, if I was in Lucknow, I would have had a very, not a complacent, but I would say like, something which was like I was set out to do or set out to be. I was surrounded by officers. I wanted to become a police officer. It was very easy for me because there was all the training and everything that was required at home. I would have just been like, okay, what exam should I give? It was all streamlined for me in that ways. It was really easy. It's because I came to Bombay and I did move with my parents to Bombay with my mother, but I just realized that I was maybe not cut out to be that person. I was not cut out for that job, because that would have just meant that I live one life, and here I am, playing an actor, living so many different lives, being so many, playing so many parts, literally waking up every day into a new character, which I think is fantastic because we literally breathe life into a new character with every role that we play. So I think I feel very grateful that I'm, through my, I think through my role or through my journey as an actor, I get to be so empathetic towards so many different lives, and I get to know how people live their lives, in such different ways.
It's amazing. A lot of your co-actors like Shah Rukh Khan and all say, it's the best thing about an actor is like you can live different people. But कैसे होता है जब सुबह उठो, आज मैं नैना हूँ, आज मैं समीरा हूँ, आज मैं आलूवालिया हूँ, मैं अहाना नहीं हूँ. तो ये जो Ahana and then when the various parts of her come together, what is that like?
I think it's a schizophrenic life you live. And Shad to calls me that. Shad is like, you're such a schizophrenic person. And I'm just like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, 1 minute you're like laughing, the other minute you're angry. And I'm like, oh, really? I don't even realize these things about myself. It's amazing. Like my directors can see that through me. And, so I feel like you do live a little schizophrenic life, and you take like a little bit of everything from each character that you play. Like Ahluwalia, I realized when I had that patch on my face for so long, and I was just like, oh my God, how is it to live like this? Because I remember when I walked out the vanity the first time when I played Ahluwalia, the first day I was in Lonavala and I walked out of my vanity. I kid you not, Pooja, everybody stopped and they were like, and I was just like, I just didn't know. I was just like I was like, what do I do? Like, why are people staring at me like that, And it was like a strange stare, that I got. So I think it's interesting that, you come to know so many different people's lives and what their worlds are through the work that you do.
So which was the one character that you played whose life you thought if it was me, that you were like so taken with and like quite mesmerized with?
Quite a bit, actually. Well, I think I got to play Priyanka Gandhi very briefly, but I think it was, I wish I had like a longer stint with that role. I would have really, been able to figure it out, break it for myself, and, and break the mold for myself in terms of performance. So I think that was the one role that I thought it was very brief, but I loved playing her. I absolutely loved playing her. Yeah.
And also I was listening to your TED Talks, which you had hosted around lipstick, under my burqa. And it's what you said made a whole lot of sense. But now we are seeing similar narratives thanks to the OTT platform where women are embracing their sexuality. Everyone has good, bad, ugly, evil, everything is being embraced. So do you think that movie, thank God, so what was it like? Do you think that we are now finally, okay, because as you said in that TED Talk, now, we don't talk about sex, it's a bad thing. We are not supposed to have desires, a bad thing. But now you see anthologies where the way it's being embraced.
I think it's fantastic. In fact, in Call My Agent, I play an LGBTQ character. And I think it's very interesting because it's the first time I was dealing with women while shooting. And it was a different kind of intimate. It was a different kind of intimacy, with a woman. And it was very sweet. I think like there was this girl who was shooting with me, and it was just she was doing a scene with me, and we required a little bit of intimacy, and it was very sweet because she just finished the scene and she was like, it was really nice working with you. And she was this young new girl, new actor, and I think it was the first time she was facing the camera, and she just turned around and she was like, it was really nice to kiss a girl, and I was like, I'll take that as a compliment. But I think it was really fun. I'm saying, we've thankfully we are going past the whole sexuality, which is only men, which only comprises of that. I'm very happy to, explore different spaces and, see myself in different worlds with different kind of people, sometimes the same sex, sometimes the same gender. And, that kind of gender fluidity was happening with men for a long time, but it wasn't happening with women. So I think like it's really nice to be able to explore that part of your life and that part of your world. And I'm glad that they're writing roles like these for women, because we are finally, not wanting to only look pretty, but, wanting to look like characters. And I think that's really beautiful to be able to play a character and not look like, ki, acha, like in this frame, I have to look a certain way. No, I can wake up with like, Balgam and Thook and, whatever. I can just
True.
look like a real person. And that's exactly what life is. And I think that's what makes us endearing, and that's what makes a character beautiful, and that's what makes a character relatable.
Totally.
About how we talk in our everyday lives, the way we wake up, we don't wake up with like shitloads of makeup, we just wake up like the way we look, and those roles are now being written. So I'm truly grateful to the makers now that that they are looking at women as real people and not as what they should be or what their roles are that have been defined for years and years together.
True. But also, on the other hand, you have to look a certain way. The social media pressure. Women are constantly shamed for what they're wearing. They're being photoshopped, bronze, shimmer, and all. What do you, there are two aspects. And here you are embracing your real self. And here, I'm sure when you post a picture, dekhna padega main kaise frame mein what is that like?
Yeah,
I'm sure in your head, you must be thinking like, जैसे भी है मुझे करने दो.
That's like filters. I know a lot of my friends, a lot of my girlfriends, like we have a fun group, like college friends, who are in one group, and they're just like, listen, I just love this filter because I don't have to wear makeup and I can post this picture with like that makeup is already on me because of the filter. And I'm just like, well done, girls, it's one of those things. But I think, like, of course, there's a lot of social media pressure to look a certain type or look a certain way. But I feel like there are lots of times when I also post images of myself without any makeup. And and thankfully people have been really nice and kind, and those people don't troll those pictures, and they thankfully, like, I was like, oh god, like I'm not waking up in the morning and looking so bad that that people are trolling me. But I think a lot of actors are now also like consciously starting to move towards posting images of themselves like the way they look in real.
Yeah.
And that's really nice, and I think that takes a lot of doing, because the kind of world you're living in, and the kind of judgments that are going to be passed because there's a wrinkle. In fact, recently I uploaded a picture with like a puppy, and I'm playing with a puppy, and some guy literally wrote like, oh, I can see wrinkles on your face. And I said, listen, you look at yourself in the mirror first, okay? So I was very like, I was really, like, wanting to say that, and I was just like, 1 minute, why am I even wasting my time? And I've earned these wrinkles, and I've earned whatever that I have on my face, and I'm quite okay about it. And I want to really be able to age gracefully, and I want to be able to accept who I am, as opposed to, putting injections and looking like the way everybody wants us to look a certain type. And I think a lot of us change the way we look is because the society wants us to see us like that. So,
True.
but I don't have anything against that. To those who do it, it's great. But I mean, for me per se, I don't think I'll be able to like ever handle that.
Anyways, you've got a perfect structure, and your fitness videos and your pictures have been giving us goals. So what is like, are you like a fitness freak? You look athletic, and is there also sports film happening? You were posing with PT Usha also. So I put two questions into one.
Well, I'm not doing a sports film. I'm obviously sending it out to the universe. I would love to do a sports film. I would love to, in fact, meeting PT Usha was one of my, I think it's been one of the highlights of my life, not even career, I would say highlights of my life. I have had the best meeting with her. I was shooting for a film. I'd had a massive heartbreak from like a relationship, and I was going crazy. And a friend of mine was shooting another film at that time in Mangalore. It was a Tulu film. And he was like, why don't you just come to Mangalore and stay with me? And I was just like, okay, I'll come, whatever. And I just literally packed my bags and I like went away to Mangalore. And used to go to the stadium called Mangala Stadium, which is like in Mangalore. And that stadium is pretty famous out there. And I remember seeing this one staunch lady, standing there training these 3 girls every day. Those girls, and Pooja, I kid you not, the way those girls run, I can see each muscle on their legs. Like when they run, I used to just be like, who are these girls? Who are these girls? It's literally like that. And I was just like, listen, I think, and I've always been interested in running. Like, I ran for school and everything, but I've never ran like this. Yeah. So I remember going to her, I just stood next to PT Usha, and I didn't recognize who she was because she looks so different now. And she's very media shy. She's not really been part of, a lot of media. And I remember like standing next to her, and I was just like, ma'am, I'd just like to know if you have any, school or something where you teach these girls, and I was very polite about it. And I'm talking like 2015 or 15. And I went to her, and she just looked at me, and she was like, yeah, Usha Academy of Sports, and I was just like, are you PT Usha?
Wow.
And
wow, man.
She was like, yes. And I was like, what is PT Usha doing in Bangalore? And I should kill myself right now. You know, it was literally like that. And I was like, what? I said, but aren't you in Kerala? Like, is that where you live? Are you in Bangalore? And then she told me, she was like, no, my son is studying in Father Muller's, which is a school, it's in, a medical college, which is in Bangalore. And she'd come to meet him. And then she brought her girls along. She was like, they can't skip a day of their training. So I have brought my girls along with me, who need to be trained, because I think they were going into nationals, or, they were going to, run for India. And I was like, oh my God. And then I don't know, I just hit it off with her. I just completely hit it off, and we just started talking in general. I don't know whether she even remembers me now, but it was wonderful, because I was just like, don't you want to make a biopic on you? Because, I've heard so many biopics are being made on so many athletes, this, that. And she was like, no, I'm not interested. And she was just like, not interested, but she was just, I think it was just lovely to be able to meet her and to know, like, what a fantastic person she is and her life. And she really shared a lot of things with me, personal things about her family life and everything, and how she started her, her school and everything, which I think was really nice and is very inspiring. And I took to running post that. Like, I started running, but of course I didn't run so much. But I think in the lockdown, I just started running a lot. And now, like, literally, like, 16 or 17 kilometers doesn't matter to my life. Like, I'm just like, I just run that much.
You should be doing run Lola, run along with Taapsee. I mean, literally.
Yeah,
marathon, or the marathon woman.
Yeah, don't worry. Maybe I'll do something else. That's Taapsee's gig.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, what kind of roles are you looking for? I mean, what kind of work are you looking for? And which is that one thing you want to change about this industry that they would not now? I mean, just saying, mat karo ye. What do you want to say? Mat karo.
What I think they should do, I don't know about what they should not do, but I think what they should do is make more sports dramas. I think there are lots of girls, not only me. I know a lot of fantastic actresses who are very real, who are very good. And, instead of making only one film about like 12 men on a poster, I'd like to see with one, like maybe more films with like, 15 girls on a poster. Like, I want to see more actresses on posters as opposed to like 10 guys, one girl. I want to be able to see that. So I think I want to change that about the industry. I definitely want to see like the roles changing. Where thankfully I've been working on a lot of sets where there are female DOPs, which I'm loving it, because, they call the shots with the lightmen and the crew and everybody's running like helter skelter, and I love it. So I've literally done 2 projects with 2 female DOPs, and I literally, like, the equation on the set changes, the balance on the set changes. So it's really nice to be able to see that, that women are also doing those parts because they're getting that kind of opportunity. So I definitely want to do a sports drama. I have been sending it out to the universe. I've literally been saying that out loud, that I'm really ready to do a sports drama. I'm physically that fit. I understand the aspects of this space. So I'm fully ready for it. So that's something that I really want to like put it out in the universe and just do it.
And also seeing your filmography, what's been your biggest struggle? I know, because post Lipstick, under you sudden Lipstick, you became this face of female empowerment, the strength of a woman. But usse pehle, what was your biggest struggle? And I'm sure you want to break that mold also, ki ab har female empowerment film thodi karungi. I can even play like a villain. I can also play,
I think the only thing that I keep getting offered all the time is like a police officer's role, which is something that I don't know. Like, of course, it comes out of the simple fact that I look strong and I look the part. I look like a no-nonsense sort of a person.
You do, yeah.
But, I mean, I was just like, you can look beyond that, I mean, first of all, y'all can write roles which are like beyond that. I've literally been turning down a lot of roles because those are female officer. However good or bad that project might be, because I'm just like, listen, I want to also play other parts, because otherwise I'll become like, the actors from the 90s who used to just play that one role, and then they used to keep playing that same role all their lives. And I mean, thankfully, I've not had to repeat any parts. And I think I've been really fortunate in that ways, that I never have to repeat a role. And thankfully, like, nice roles have been coming to me. And I've been really working with some of the most fabulous directors. And I know how it is now to work with like, bigger directors, and then, to learn something new, because we've moved to like a space where, you come to know from a seasoned director, like what is it that they want from the actor. And it's pretty simple. They don't really intervene too much. They don't really give too much gyan on set. they are, they're so, because they come from a place of security.
Hmm.
You get to learn a lot when you watch them work.
I know there's been a whole lot of debate, like, you've come from Lucknow. I mean, you are the outsider. But there's some people in Bombay, they're used to things happening around them. What is that one difference you think? Because at the end of the day, actors like you've also spoken, talent counts. I know it's a struggle, but what is that one difference you feel wo rahega, come what may, wo ek difference rahega? What do you think?
I think auditions. There are lots of things that I feel like, like even star kids should audition for, because I think that it's only fair. But I know that'll never happen. And I always feel like it's just a fair process, because I still audition and I still don't say, Arey, I don't want to audition for like, this role or that role, because I know that that's the process, and who am I to like, how do I say, who am I to say this like, or I'm not going to audition, because I am still like, there are lots of filmmakers who've not seen my work, and it's fine and it's only fair, because only through an audition process you come to know whether you're even capable of doing that role or not. And that has happened with me a lot of times when I've done an audition and gone like, oh my God, this is a really difficult part, So I feel like with the kids who come from film families, because their network is so great, because they know, they've all grown up in the same space. So it's like this uncle is producing, that Chacha ji is producing, this Mossy is producing. So it's just one of those ghar ki baat sort of a situation. So they don't have to test for parts, whereas we really have to test for everything till date. There's a test for something or the other. And I go like, I think everybody should audition for this role.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
And do you think with OTT it'll change, or do you think OTT also will now become, that star system is coming in? Everybody wants to be on OTT now.
I think the star system is coming into OTT now, because I know I'm getting a lot of calls for like shows where they go like, oh, this one is starring in it, so we want you for this part. And I go like, okay, sounds like a film.
I love you're so candid. How do you keep yourself so real?
I don't know. Maybe that's what like leads me to roles that are normal.
I'm sure. But what's your take on censorship? Do you think it should be censored?
I think that's just stupidity. Well, I think we've had this fight even with lipstick, earlier, where I feel that it was, the whole thing was that if you don't want to watch it, do not waste your money and do not watch it. You will not offend anybody because you're not watching it. Those who want to watch it, watch it. You have the credit card in your hand, you have the money in your hand, you are the person who decides what you should watch. How can you be so silly that we tell you what to watch and what not to watch? You watch what you want to watch. Na? So I don't believe in censorship. I don't think like there should be anything called censorship. It's fine. You can decide what you want to watch.
Totally. And also, as you spoke about, you want to do other things. What are the other things on your wish list?
Writing. I definitely want to write. That's something that I want to do this year for sure. I would love to open a new play, and I would, maybe dedicate this year into theater a lot more. So that is something that I want to do. So I'm really between a play and writing right now. So I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing a very interesting audio web series, which is being produced by Mantra, and it's for Spotify. And I've been recording that, and it's been very good because, literally like you're literally reliving moments and visualizing things, but speaking through your words, which I think is really like difficult and yet satisfying. It's very gratifying in many ways, and it's a great learning for me as an actor. So I think I'm just like literally diversifying into sound, I'm diversifying into writing, and I'm wanting to go back to theater. So I think that's something that I really want to do this year.
Wow. So what is well, and also it comes across in your conversation, a believer in the secret, the universe, the law of attraction. Is that so?
You're the third person to say that to me, and I've not even read that book.
No, because when you said let it out in the universe, now there's law of attraction, there's secret. A whole lot of spiritual gurus also say what you send out is what you get.
I think so. And I also think like not wishing ill for anybody else. I think like there's a place for everybody in this industry, in this world. And I think there is a way that we all can live together in harmony, not intruding into other people's spaces and not calling and name calling people and saying ki tum kharab ho, ki tum kharab ho. I think all of us have our shades of gray, and we should understand that everybody's a yin and yang, and everybody has good and everybody has bad. I have equal amounts of good and I have equal amounts of bad. I've done bad things in my life and I've done good things in my life, but that doesn't make me a bad or a good person. I'm no one to judge somebody else. And that comes really from a place of like, I'm very secure with my life and I know what I want to do. And I should believe, and I really truly believe that one should just live and let live. So I feel like
Absolutely.
the world has gone crazy right now. So it's
I know, and there's a lot of insecurity also, you know. I'm sure even in my industry, अरे उसको interview मिल गया, मेरे को नहीं मिला, ये project उसको मिल गया. I'm sure it's the same in your industry. उसको
It
role
is.
मिल गया.
That's why, I never single out my industry. In fact, I've always said I'm extremely grateful to my industry. Anybody who keeps telling me, oh, the film industry, this and that. And I'm just like, 1 minute. It's given me my identity. It's given me my bread and butter. It's given me everything that I want in my life. I would have never imagined this life had I been like working in a 9 to 5 job. So please don't, like, I get very angry with people who backbite about their industry, because I'm just like, if you're so uncomfortable and if you do not like your industry, please leave and do something else. You're very capable
Exactly.
of finding a job elsewhere. So please do not say that. I'm very, very grateful to my industry for whatever that I am today.
So what is that one advice Ahana would like to give her 20-year-old self if they were to meet, or maybe her 18-year-old self today, if they were to come together? What would you say to her?
I don't think I'd be able to give it advice. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you also why. Because honestly, I would have easily said, be this, be that. I think I've come to a place of security now because I was so insecure when I was 18 and I was 20 and I was so riled up and I was so dumb and I was literally running like a headless chicken. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't have mentors then. I don't have mentors now. I feel like I have really been kicked around so much that now I think I have realized that there is no point in, advising a 20-year-old. You have to be kicked in the gut, because if you don't, you will never wake up and be like, listen, it's okay. I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to find a job. I have really been kicked around, and I feel that has led me to become who I am today. And so there will be no advice. And I think like whatever I did in my 20s, I was bumping into the darkness, but I did find my way. So you'll always you'll always find the end of the tunnel, but you need to keep bumping into the darkness. You need
Which
to.
was that one moment which actually made you realize कि अब हो गया, or the turning point? Because there's always that one moment in life.
I think when I realized, I think post youth, that I'm not going to get any more films or I'm not going to get any more jobs. And for me, it was like, okay, so this is a make and break for me. I think I literally that day, I don't know what happened. I got a call for this TV serial. I'll always be very, very grateful to Rupali and Abhimanyu Singh, because I got a call from Conchalo and they hired me in the TV serial. And I did the TV serial. I realized I was not cut out for it, but I learned. I learned a lot on that set. I did Kabaddi immediately after that with Star Sports, and I hosted a live match, a sports gig which I have no idea about, which I don't understand. I don't understand that world, but I got to learn so much because I learned how to say the word yes and stop saying the word no. And I think that was for me like the turning point, when I was just like, learn how to say yes, because you are nobody and you have to become somebody, and to become somebody you have to learn how to be a nobody.
Awesome. Totally. Thank you so much. More power to you. Keep inspiring us. Yeah. I'm waiting to speak to you again, and hopefully in person.
I think so. Yeah. Now either I come to Delhi or you come to Bombay.
Yeah, I know. Butter chicken खाएंगे. Either way. Either way.
Chalo, done.
Done. Take care. All the very best.
Thanks a lot, Pooja. Take care.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.